Hi, thanks for joining us for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. I'm Chris Cooper. Would you broadcast an incomplete fertilizer over your volunteer ephemerals? What does that even mean? Today we're defining gardening terms. Also, fall is a good time to do some tool maintenance so they are ready to go in the spring. That's just ahead on the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South.
Production funding for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South is provided by the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to the Family Plot. I'm Chris Cooper. Joining me today is Dr. Kelly. Dr. Kelly is our horticulture expert, and Mr. D is here.
Howdy.
All right. It's gonna be fun again.
Ready to go.
Oh, you ready to go?
Yeah, buddy.
All right. So look, we're defining gardening terms. You always do such a good job with this, Dr.
Thank you
Kelly.
very much.
All right. So let's start with the first one.
All right.
Ground cover.
Ground cover. Okie dokie. That is a low-growing, typically low-growing plant that's used in places that you may not can have lawn. It's also used in places where you have highly erodible soil. So, and they don't particularly have to be low-growing, because I saw a neighbor of mine on his ditch bank had daylilies that just totally covered the bank, kept the weeds out, and kept the erosion. So it's a low-growing plant used in places that you wouldn't have lawn or that wouldn't work for lawn. And highly erodible, under trees, you know, where grass can't grow. A lot of people put a ground cover there. So that's what it did.
So ground cover. And again, these are terms that, look, horticulturalists throw out all the time, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this next one, ephemeral. We hear that one all the time.
Yeah, isn't that, you know, a good term? I like to say that, ephemeral.
Ephemeral.
Yeah, isn't that a great word? Ephemeral.
That's one you had to work on for a while there.
Oh no, I got it. Ephemeral. It's something that's here today and gone tomorrow. Very, very short lifespan. And to give you an example, which everybody probably would know, is a lot of our woodland spring flowers are ephemerals. They will come up like May apples,
yeah, I was thinking
and
the same
trilliums. You know, they will come up, do their thing, and then by the heat of the summer, they're gone. They've gone dormant. So they have a really fast season, and that means they're ephemeral. You know, so that's what
Like
it
my
means.
paycheck.
Yeah.
All right. Ephemeral.
Here today, gone tomorrow. Really
Gone
quick.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
There it is.
Something that lasts for a very short time, in other words. It not could just be plants. It could be like your paycheck.
All right. How about this next one? Volunteer. This is the volunteer stage.
Yeah,
so
that's what happens when you
Football
don't.
fan.
No, no. That's what happens when you don't deadhead.
You
You get volunteers,
I like
which
that.
means
I like
little
that.
seeds that are all scattered from plants that maybe you don't want, maybe you do want. So it could be either one. Volunteers are those plants that come up from seeds, you know, that you didn't plan on.
Right.
And they can be a good thing or they can be a bad thing. And we have some flowers that are very, very prolific reseeders, you know, so you can either pull them up or, you know, transplant them or just pull them up and throw them in the compost pile. But that's a plant that comes up without you doing it, just volunteered from seed that got there, yeah.
That's a problem with these Roundup Ready crops, that when you have Roundup Ready corn and you follow it with Roundup Ready soybeans and you have volunteer Roundup Ready corn that comes up next year and Roundup doesn't kill it across the top and vice versa. But it's more corn. You'll see a lot of corn, volunteer corn,
So volunteer's a
in cotton
problem.
and soybean. It can be a problem.
It could be a problem. So, all right, so volunteer. This next term, very popular term these days, organic.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Organic. Everybody wants to grow stuff organic or buy organic, and that's a term that's used kind of loosely sometimes, but the definition, we got two definitions. One of them, if you talk about something that is organic, that means that it is derived from living matter, and it's a carbon-based organism. You want to get scientific about it, but when we talk about organic food, organic farming, that's a type of production that does not allow, if you're certified through organic programs, does not allow artificial or synthetic type chemicals and pesticides and those kind of things. So everything used has to be organic. Organic fertilizers, organic pesticides, you know, so for it to be truly organic produce, you know, that's what it has to be.
Well, yeah, Mr. D talks about that as well. You know,
Yeah.
organic. All right, broadcast.
That's what we're doing, right? We broadcasting, right?
Exactly.
That is a type of fertilizing technique, okay? That means you just get your hand in the bucket and just sling it. Or you can use a spreader. Put your fertilizer in the spreader and, do this, and it just slings it every which way. That's called broadcast.
Or you can do it with seed also.
Well, sure, it could be seed. Right. Yeah, it could be seed. But it's a application maybe technique for seed and fertilizers, as opposed, when we're talking about fertilizers, as opposed to maybe side dressing, where you put the fertilizer in a band, next to the crop, or soluble fertilize, which you put through water. So it's a type or technique of application.
Application technique.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and that's an agricultural term that the broadcast media picked up. I mean, it originally is an agricultural term that's got agricultural roots. You're right, they did, and they didn't. We should have gotten copyrighted. We should have gotten
the broadcast. Interesting.
Yeah.
Know that. All right.
We need a footnote to that.
Well, broadcast. I mean, you're talking about broadcast. You're going to be talking about fertilizers, right? So complete, incomplete fertilizer.
Okay. Yeah. Right. And people will say, okay, well, I need a complete fertilizer. Well, or a gardener or somebody, at the garden store or something, or the co-op will say, well, you really need a complete fertilizer. And all that means is the analysis has all three numbers. The like 13, which is a 888. That means there's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. It has all three nutrients in that fertilizer. Right. The three main ones, so it's complete. Now, if you had something like ammonium nitrate, which got nitrogen, which would be 3400. See, that has no phosphorus, has no potassium, so that is an incomplete fertilizer. But complete means it's got all three nutrients.
All right.
N, P, and K.
N, P, and K.
Yep.
Our next gardening term is frass.
Who?
Frass.
I know, that's an odd word, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
And that is actually a byproduct of wood boring insects. When they bore into something, you'll see all this frass coming out, and it can be part of the sawdust, or it can be something that the insects are passing that is what's called frass. And it just looks like a little, almost like coffee grounds sometimes. Yeah. But it's a product of wood boring insects that you'll find, and other boring insects.
Okay.
Frass.
Frass.
Yeah, I know, weird word.
All right, our next gardening term is xeriscaping.
Yeah, that's a term that is getting a lot of press now, and it's because people that are concerned with conserving water, that is a type of landscaping where that you do limit irrigation, you limit the type of plants that require a lot of water. You want to go more toward the plants that are more arid requirements that don't require a lot of water. So it's a type of landscaping that incorporates water conservation techniques like mulching or picking species that do not require a lot of water. Like the succulents and cacti and yuccas and things like that. Definitely, they've been doing it out west forever because they don't have any choice. But here we can conserve water the same way by going more toward this kind of landscaping.
Xeriscaping. Like that. Our next gardening term is zone.
Yeah, we in the zone.
We're in the zone.
We're in the zone here. Yeah, exactly. Well, the United States is divided into all of these plant zones, and they're based on the average minimum winter temperature, which means, and there's like, I don't know how many zones all across the U.S. I was going to look and I forgot. It's a bunch. It's like 13 or something. I don't really remember. And they go up as you go down.
Right.
In other words, like 9 and 10 would be Florida and all this stuff. But we're in 7B in North Mississippi. And I think Memphis is like 7B, 8A.
Yeah, 7B, 8A. Carol Reese would tell you so.
It's both.
Right.
You know, it's just
one
kind
of those zones goes up along the Mississippi Delta.
Yeah, well, of course, the river, it's a heat-retaining body of water, so you're going to get a different, plant zone along big bodies of water and mountain ranges and this kind of thing. But it's based on ranges of minimum winter temperatures. And for example, 7B, where I live, we can assume in a typical winter that we're going to have the lowest temperature is going to fall in the range from 5 to 10 degrees. And sometimes you think, well, that's awfully cold. But you know, we actually do get that cold. It may be just one day or a couple of days, but you know, and it's all for plant hardiness.
That's all it takes.
We have these plant zones to help us decide, based on that plant's hardiness, winter hardiness to the cold temperatures, what would be the recommended plants for our zone. So, you know, landscapers use it, gardeners use it, you know, and it's usually on the plant label.
It's on the label.
Yeah, zone 8, zone 9. And if you're zone 9, that means that that plant would not take a cold winter up here, because that temperature range is going to be higher. You know, I told you when the numbers go up, the temperatures go up.
Right.
So,
good stuff.
yeah, you have to look at it and say, okay, well, I can't grow that plant here. But that never stopped a gardener from trying, right?
Yeah, it doesn't stop gardeners. They're going to try it anyway. You know that.
Yeah, but that's what that's about.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Kelly.
Yeah.
There are a number of gardening events going on in the next couple of weeks. Here are just a few that might interest you. All right, Mr. D, gardening things to do over the winter. What do we need to do?
The main thing you need to do is take care of your tools.
Because
you take care of your tools will take care of you. And I have some examples of tools that have been taken care of, and they provided a living for a family of 6 and sent 6 of them to college, 6 kids to college, and on a little 128-acre farm in West Tennessee.
How about that?
But this is an example right here. This is a hoe that was probably purchased in the mid-60s by my dad, and this was used. This was weed control on the farm, and we had 8 of them, a crew of 8, 6 kids and mom and dad. Wow. So when we took 16 rows around when we were in full operational mode. But with any hand tool, the rust is your enemy. So the main thing that you need to do is make sure that you have your metal clean, have all the dirt removed from it. And that's the number one thing. You clean it off, unlike some folks do, and then a light.
Yeah, I wonder what he's looking at.
A light coat. I'm looking at that shovel.
I know.
Yeah. But clean the dirt and then rust, and you may need to even use some sandpaper at times, and then lightly coat it with oil. And back in the day, we didn't use WD-40 and we didn't use new oil. We used burnt cylinder oil that we had left over from when we changed the oil in the tractors and the mowers and things like that. The handles are This is the original handle on this hoe. It survived probably several snake killings by my mother. But it's a hickory handle.
Really smooth.
It is smooth. The way you take care of good quality handles is if it's rough, if you have any rough edges, lightly sand it.
Yeah, or you're going to get blisters if you don't.
Yeah, you will get blisters, and you'll get blisters if you do. If you do as much hoeing, you may have to wear gloves. But we didn't wear gloves. Our hand, you develop calluses pretty quick when we were using these things as kids. But lightly sand it, and then coat it with linseed oil. Before you go into the winter, boiled linseed oil is a really good product to preserve wood, and I would just pour some on a rag like this. I'm going to do that. I haven't done that this winter. Might make a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. Little dab will do you. That's why this can is so old.
Man, it looks old.
It lasts a lot of years. Yeah. But if you just take that, and I'm going to try not to hit you, Dr. Kelly.
I know.
Come around here like so, and you just take this, and you rub it up and down the handle. Smell it?
I do. I like smelling.
I'm going to come back around here a little bit. I need a little bit more.
So you do that every fall?
Every fall.
Yep.
And so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he practiced what he preaches.
I can tell.
Yeah,
You can
I mean,
look at that
it,
handle
right,
and know that it's been
With some things I practice
polished
what I
up.
preach.
Oh.
Come around here again. I'm trying to think if I have anything. I don't have anything against you at all.
I hope not.
Okay.
Your weapon in your hand. Eh?
But you know, that will take care of that one for the winter. I do the same thing with my axe handles and shovel handles.
Oh yeah,
and,
smell that.
Yeah, I can
Doesn't that
smell
smell
that.
good?
if you have fiberglass handles or plastic handles or metal handles,
Uh-oh.
there's no need to do this. There's absolutely no need to do this. But there's something about a hickory handle.
Yeah.
You know, folks, it's just something about it. There we are.
Nice.
Shovel.
Look at him. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's old.
See, once I've got this cloth saturated pretty good, then I won't have to put any more on it. That's a sharpshooter. This is probably
Oh wow. Well, you got that and shined up.
this sharpshooter is probably bought it in the mid '80s, early to mid '80s.
Yeah, that looks good though.
But do that with your hand tools, pruning shears, oil them, sharpen them, you know, clean them up. I mean, it's going to be time to prune pretty soon. But take care of your tools, your lawnmowers, your tillers, and things like that. Clean them up. I like to rub, not linseed oil, but I like to rub the oil on the metal areas that might rust. Just wipe it on there.
So do you do this after every time you use it?
No.
No, I meant the cleaning the
metal I
part off.
do.
Yeah,
The
you
metal
clean
I do.
You clean the dirt off,
I
right?
clean the dirt off, and
Yeah.
I will coat it with oil.
Yeah,
after
that's
every
what I was
use.
asking.
Yeah, after every use. If you don't do that, if you leave dirt on there, it'll rust.
Yeah.
They will rust, unless you have stainless steel.
Well, I hate to
Tools.
say it, but I've been known to do that. I'm glad you're not looking at my tools.
But also with your on the mowers, the small engines, you can. There's a couple of things you can do. You can run the fuel completely out of them.
Yeah, I was going to
let
ask
them
you
be
about
completely
that.
empty.
Okay.
Or you can make sure you use fuel stabilizer in your fuel. I recommend using non-ethanol fuel in small engines. Non-ethanol fuel, and you can get it at a lot of places now. It used to be kind of hard to find, but even small engine repair shops, they tell you, they recommend using non-ethanol
and even some of
fuel.
the manufacturers' directions now will tell you,
Right.
you know, for these little small
sure do.
engines, don't ever use, you know, the other type.
Right.
Use the ethanol.
But even when you do that, when you use the non-ethanol fuel, put fuel stabilizer in it. I put fuel stabilizer in all of my fuel for all my small engines. Then store them full. Fill the tanks up and store them full. Make sure you run some through the carburetor or through the fuel injection system so that the engine has that in there.
Okay.
But clean out your sprayers.
We got your sprayers, right.
Drain them, clean them out, clean out your nozzles, hang them upside down, and make sure that the sprayer's completely drained.
Good
You do all that, you'll be ready to go next.
Be ready to go. Good stuff, Mr. D. We appreciate that.
Well, we're out here in the WKNO Gardens, and this is a raised bed that 2 years ago we planted with strawberries. And it may look a little thin right now, but this last summer we harvested over 250 plants from here. We did use a ground cloth underneath it, and you notice it's pretty much weed-free. We do want to clean out some of this dead foliage. And it's kind of like pansies. They don't look very pretty in the wintertime. As soon as it starts warming up, they'll take off, and we're going to have a whole bunch of more plants, and even more important, a whole bunch of strawberries. Being that wintertime is coming on real quick, we really don't want to fertilize at this time of the year. But in the spring, when you start seeing new growth, it'd be advantageous to go ahead and apply a balanced fertilizer that contains nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the three basic numbers for fertilizer.
It's our Q&A session. Y'all ready?
Yep.
These are good questions. All right, we'll start with the first viewer email. What will cause the sap to run out of peach trees? How can we stop it? And this is from Donna. Mr. D,
Peach
this
tree
has your
borer.
name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Peach tree
classic.
Common.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
That's a classic
oh, it's
infestation.
Bad too. They
of
got a
peach.
bad case of it.
Yeah.
That tree is probably going to die.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, if that's the trunk, I can't tell if that's the trunk.
Or a limb.
It's probably going to die.
Yeah.
If it's just a limb, it's probably the lesser peach tree borer, and in that case, only the limb will die.
Yeah.
But they're
I believe it looked like a trunk.
It looked like a trunk to me,
Yeah.
I
so
think
which
it
is
was.
the regular peach tree borer. And the only way to handle that is to prevent it from occurring. And you prevent it from occurring by spraying with either esfenvalerate or gamma cyhalothrin, are the products that we recommend now. We used to recommend Dursban,
Dursban, yeah,
Chlorpyrifos,
Dursban,
and
yeah.
before that, Lindane.
Oh, yeah.
and also,
I remember
well, That's
Lindane.
going way back.
Way,
but-
Yeah.
way back.
but the things that you can use now are these are synthetic pyrethroids, esfenvalerate or gamma cyhalothrin. That you need to remember this. Now you need to spray in our areas, in the Mid-South area. You need to spray May 31st, June 30th, July 15th, but not within 14 days of harvest. So if you have real early peaches, you may want to stop that last spray. But direct your sprays to the trunk and lower limbs. You don't have to spray the whole tree with this product. And if you do that, you need to do that to every peach, plum, and nectarine tree that you have religiously.
I was waiting for
And
you to
if
say
you
it.
do that, you shouldn't have a problem unless the rain washes it all off and you didn't go
Yeah.
back and redo it.
It's a problem,
But,
yeah.
it is really a problem.
And you're trying to disrupt the life cycle of that insect that's
Yeah.
laying those eggs, and it's
Yes.
the larva that causes the
And
damage.
burrows
right.
in.
Yeah, the
Right.
little wasp-looking thing will lay the eggs, and then they'll
Goes right in.
Yeah, just bores
Yep.
in there. And once it's in there,
That's
there's
it.
nothing you can do.
That's
Yeah.
right. That female, those dates that we mentioned, that's when she's active. That's when she's
okay.
laying eggs. There's some residual to these products, and they last a couple of weeks. So that's why you're trying to make sure that when that female lands and it sits there, that there's an insecticide there.
Right. So you got to time it out.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Donna. You heard it from Mr. D. You got to time it out. Okay. Here's our next viewer email. What is this plant? The flower is about 3 weeks old in the picture. The foliage is light and it has a fragrance. Okay. I would love more of these flowers. How do I encourage it? And this is from Miss Donna, Holly Springs, Mississippi.
Okay.
So, what do we think that plant is?
Oh,
This
I
wild
have,
flower that
I
has
have
this
had it
fragrance.
volunteer
Right.
in my garden as well. So it is seed propagated is one
Okay,
way,
seed propagated.
and it is. Some people don't like the smell of it. It's called camphorweed or stinkweed.
yeah.
Stinkweed for
Yeah,
those that don't
stinkweed.
like the smell of it. It's rather pungent. Rather pungent. I particularly don't like it.
Right.
But if she likes it and wants to encourage it, you can take cuttings from the roots.
Okay.
You can do root, propagation. Or, if she just leaves it alone, she'll probably get some more from volunteering from the seed. Don't cut those seeds. Don't deadhead.
Don't deadhead. Oh,
Don't deadhead,
okay.
yeah. So yeah, it's a Pulchia odorata,
Okay.
which is a native, one of our native wildflowers.
Odorata, we know what
Odorata, yeah, what that means.
Odorata.
Either means stinky good or stinky bad.
Perennial?
No,
Not a perennial.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
Okay. But she wants to encourage it. And there's one that smells like medicine. We talked about
Yeah,
that. It smells
yeah,
like,
Vicks Vapor Rub,
right,
yeah, or
right,
Soltis, the old
right.
Soltis, yeah. Real camphory. That's the reason it's called camphorweed, I guess.
yeah, camphor weed. So there you have it, Miss Donna. Yeah, and wildflower. Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody,
Yeah,
somebody wants some of these. So,
So if your
Yeah,
garden
and
smells
they're
like
pretty.
a drugstore, then that's
yeah.
probably
Yeah,
what you
And they
got.
got these pretty kind of mauve,
yeah.
pinkish flowers. They
That's
are pretty,
beautiful flowers. So that's real good. All right, Miss Donna, thank you. Next to your email, I have a gray fungus looking substance that has appeared in my yard. It also looks like it could be tiny eggs of some sort. I first noticed it a couple of weeks ago and it has lasted and wasn't washed away from the very recent and at times heavy rain. Do you have any ideas and should I take action? I did cut the grass and back the clippings. A few days later, whatever it is has come back with new growth. And this is from Run. Mr. D, we know what that is, don't we?
Does it got anything to do with Halloween?
Yeah. The creeping fungus.
Yeah. Slime mold.
Slime mold is what that
Yeah.
is.
And it's not a problem.
It's not a problem, just a cosmetic issue. It's
If you
not
want
a
to,
problem.
if it bothers you, get out there and mow it or
Yeah.
Like he's doing.
sweep it off, sweep it off.
Keep
you
it
know.
mowed.
We're going into the
sweep.
cold season. It's going to disappear
Right.
anyway.
But you know what? That's my thought.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Looks like a warm season grass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
going to go dormant
Don't
here in a
go
little
away.
bit. I
Right.
wouldn't even worry about it.
Do nothing.
Yeah.
Go back in the house. Don't look at it.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, Ron.
Put your feet up.
Right. Yeah, kick your feet
Yeah.
up. Yeah. The grass is going to go dormant. You can go dormant too.
Yeah.
You don't have to
There
worry
you
about
yeah,
it. So there
exactly.
you have it, Ron.
Exactly.
All
Very
right.
good.
So, Mr. D, Dr. Kelly, always fun. Thank you. Thank you. Remember, we love to hear from you. Send us an email or letter. The email address is familyplot@wkno.org, and the mailing address is Family Plot, 7151 Cherry Farms Road, Cordova, Tennessee 38016. Or you can go online to familyplotgarden.com. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us. We only have a few more episodes left this growing season. Go to familyplotgarden.com for suggestions and good advice to get an early jump on next year's garden. I'm Chris Cooper. Be sure to join us next week for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. Be safe.